My, I would say good luck or bad luck, was my first day as a stockbroker when the market crashed. It was 1987, and my firm, LF Rothschild, which was a great firm in business for many, many years, went out of business. So I was out of a job. I was 24 years old at the time. And I was desperate, and all I could think about was rent money. No one was hiring, so I was living in Bayside, Queens at the time. I was married to a wonderful woman, okay, divorced for many years from her. She was a great girl, and we would sit there like literally crying over the coffee table that, I had basically been, in 6 months I was commuting down to Wall Street. It was costing me $100, $120 to get down there on the Long Island Railroad and the bus and the subway, and I was only getting paid $99 a week. So I was losing $30 a week to train to be a stockbroker, and I watched all these young kids making a fortune in the bull market of the 80s, and when it was my turn, the market crashed the first day, and I was out of a job. I picked up the newspaper looking for help wanted. I was looking for anything but Wall Street. I would have sold plumbing supplies. It didn't matter. I just wanted to sell something. And I stumbled upon an ad for a brokerage firm in Long Island, and it turned out to be selling penny stocks. I didn't even know what a penny stock was. I was trained in New York Stock Exchange stocks. To cut to the chase, I ended up going to this penny stock firm, becoming the largest, the most successful broker at this firm. And my little niche there was that I had been trained by the big boys, so I understood the bigger game of how to sell the big stocks, Eastman Kodak, IBM, and the Microsoft. So I knew really how to sell to wealthy people. All these people were also at the penny stock firm were selling 20-cent stocks to mailmen and people that were teachers, people that really couldn't afford to invest in the market anyway. Ultimately, at that point in time is when I sacrificed my ethics, because what I saw, it was wrong. It wasn't, I saw everyone was losing money. The clients were getting killed. But I was 24 and I was so broke at that time that I just desperate. I was getting evicted from my apartment and I needed to make money. And that's how the problem started. So, and then of course my rationalizations were, well, I'm looking on the wall. It says NASD approved firm, and it was. So I'm like, well, it's not illegal, is it? And everyone's like, well, no, we work here. We're here for years. And I'm like, all right, well, it seemed okay. So that's how it started with me. So eventually, I became a very successful stockbroker, and I decided to open up my own firm. And I came up with this little niche where I decided to try to sell $4 and $5 stocks to the richest people in America. No one had really tried that before in an organized way, and it worked unbelievably well. And what I did is I used a two-call system. First, I would sell them Eastman Kodak, so they brand recognition. They knew Kodak. Once they opened up an account with my firm, the second trade was into a $5 stock, and the amount of money we were making was staggering. I went from rags to making $50 million a year when I was 26, 27 years old, and I was just living this insane life. And it was basically this boardroom I had in Long Island, which was 1,000 kids, all under the age of 25 years old. Everyone was fucking everybody, okay? Within the four walls of the boardroom, normal behavior was considered abnormal. So women would come to work dressed like hookers and strippers. You'd never seen anything like it. Basically, the required dress code for a man was a $2,000 suit, a gold watch, okay, and a very expensive Hermes tie. The dress code for women, okay, was high heels, the higher the better with spikes, short skirts, silk stockings, and low-cut blouses, okay? All things that were strictly forbidden in the Human Resources Manual and encouraged heavily by me, the owner. It became like the sort of the amalgam of the 7 deadly sins all wrapped up into one. Okay, it was Wall Street on Long Island. It was complete insanity. There was drugs going around the office like Pez out of a Pez dispenser. There was hookers in the basement turning tricks to service the needs and wants and desires of all the crazy stockbrokers. Within the four walls of the boardroom on Friday afternoons, we had midget tossing competitions, cracking champagne. People were getting their heads shaved. It became like the Roman circus. It just spiraled out of control and became a self-contained universe. It was disgusting. Yet it happens. How does that happen to a guy like me from a good family? Step by step, incrementally. You take one step over the line in morality, and you take it back, and then you do things right. And then all of a sudden you take another step over the line, and before you know it, you're stepping so far over the line that it just seems okay. It's like you put your toe in the bathtub, it's piping hot, and you pull it out. You put it back in again, it's not quite as hot. 5 minutes later, you're submerged under the bathtub, and the water feels perfect. That was the story of my life. And, I had some gifts that I was born with. I was born with the ability to stand before a crowd and speak, and I used that in an evil way to manipulate young stockbrokers. They would come to me and I would sell them a bill of goods and say, this is what you're going to do. You got to sit this way, act this way, say this at this time, and so on and so forth. And you got to buy the nicest car, eat the nicest restaurant, and greed is good. And it's about making money, and money is a wonderful thing, and you can take care of your parents with money, and it's your obligation. You owe it to this one and that one, and blah, blah, blah. I go on and on, day in and day out, twice a day for years straight. And it was sort of like this cult-like environment developed, and the kids loved it. Everyone loved it. But deep down at the root of it was evil.